to a new era, and today I'm gonna be revealing to you what is in my camera bag for photography, for filmmaking, and of course for YouTube. Okay, maybe a little bit smaller, a little wider. Okay, whew. I thought that was pretty creative, so if you thought that was cool, give me a like. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe because I want you along with me on my filmmaking journey. So until then, back to the video. Now, you know this video is called What's in My Camera Bag 2021, so I have to start by talking about the camera bag itself. This right here is a K&F Pro camera bag, and it's the large size. The reason for that is because ideally I wanted to fit 2 cameras and a drone in this camera bag, outside of course the lens and all the extra pieces. So what's super awesome about this camera bag is that if you open it from the back, just give me a moment, you have a bunch of different compartments. And by the way, these are all adjustable. You can like take this out, move it around to whatever your liking is. This is what my final result of compartmentalizing is. And then once again, if you open it from the front side, you also get like these pockets and slots, which are for your laptop, charger, and other miscellaneous things. Fantastic. Highly recommend. And for the most important thing in my camera bag, that's gonna be this notebook right here. And you might be wondering, Anuj, why is this notebook the most important thing in your camera bag? And for that, my friend, the answer is this notebook carries all my creative ideas, it carries all my planning, it carries all my improvement tips and things like that, which will make me more effective with my camera gear and making these YouTube videos actually for you. And if you don't do this already, whether it's on your phone, whether you have a notebook like me, I would highly recommend doing it just because you're just gonna get that much more better, faster. The 2 cameras that I roll with are the Sony a7 III and the Sony a7S III, not to be confused with each other. But the reason I roll with these guys is primarily because I shoot cinematic video, or at least I try to. And between these 2 cameras, I can get up to 4K 120 FPS, meaning anything that I do, slow motion or not, is gonna be in that super high quality definition. And another really good thing about having these 2 as partner cameras is the fact that I could just run multiple operations on them. I could do anything from photography to videography, whether it's casual, whether it's my own creativity, or even professional level work. Also, actually, one more thing I forgot to mention is the fact that because these 2 are so similar, it's so easy to mix and match photos and footage in the editing process. So big ups for that. Along with my 2 cameras, my weapons of choice, if you will, I choose the Tamron 17-28 and the Tamron 28-75 to accompany them, both at f2.8. And I've already made a whole video dedicated to these lenses, so I'm not gonna go over them in detail, but I'll leave that video for you right up here. Go ahead and check it out after this video. But just to quickly sum it up for you, effectively, I have a focal length of 17-75, meaning that I could do landscape, I could do portrait, and that's both for photos and videos. Though I'll have you know, I do have the Sony FE85 f1.8 lens lying around, and I would carry that in my camera bag as well, but it's just too niche for me in terms of its usage for what I particularly like to capture. An extremely useful little thing I like to keep in my camera bag is an ND filter. I use the K&F concept filter. It goes from 0 stops of light to 32 stops of light, and it helps you give another parameter for which to control how much light comes into your camera. Basically, it's just sunglasses for your camera, so you don't have to change the settings in your camera if you don't want to. And another little useful thing I like to keep in my camera bag is a dust blower, which does exactly what it's called. And actually, let me give you a quick tip. A lot of people, for some reason, don't realize this, but when you blow your dust blower into the camera like this, you're just blowing the dust right back into the camera sensor. What you want to do is have it face down and then go ahead and blow some dust off, because it's gonna fall to the ground instead of back into the camera. Helped you out, didn't it? Moving on to one of the more important parts of my camera equipment, that being the audio kit. And let me tell you a fun fact. Did you know that people are more likely to watch a bad quality video with good audio versus a good quality video with bad audio? Think about that. Speaks volumes, doesn't it? Anyways, I use the Rode Video Mic Pro Plus. It's basically just an awesome shotgun mic. It can record any sound I want at high quality, great filtering and decibel adjustments, and it turns on and off with my camera. The more exciting part of my camera kit is gonna be my drone, because it's a flying camera, and what else do you need? I use the DJI Mavic Air 2, 8K hyperlapses, my favorite part of it all. I get 4K 60 FPS footage, 48 megapixel photos, and I have 3 batteries, so it flies for just about over an hour, and I tend to use that whole hour. A few crafty little miscellaneous items I like to keep around are a pocket knife and some string, just because they'll come in handy every now and then. And actually, this pocket knife particularly comes in handy when it comes to the quick release place, because it's just so much easier to tighten the screw to these cameras than it is to do with my hands or my keys for that matter. And last but definitely not least, I like to keep in my camera bag a tripod. Well, I guess technically it slides onto the side of the camera bag, but I have a typical Jolly Can Travel tripod. It's awesome, it's super sturdy, it's super easily adjustable and balanced on any level of ground, and it can turn into a monopod, which is pretty cool. But I also kind of switch this out sometimes with my gimbal depending on the shoot. The gimbal that I use is the DJI Ronin S. It's a workhorse for me. It stabilizes all my footage and I could do some super cool shots with it. But the thing that's annoying about carrying this guy with me on my travel bag is the fact that like these arms, they just hit around. So if I'm carrying and walking around, it's gonna just make a lot of noise. Oh, I probably shouldn't do that because that's gonna break it. But yeah, I find that to be an issue. And I turn the table to you. What do you carry in your camera bag? Let me know. Actually, if you have any recommendations as to what else I could carry in my camera bag, comment down below as well. Other than that, like and subscribe because you know I'd love to have you, and I'll see you next Wednesday.